Stephanie Nipper, and today I want to teach you how to make Rolags on a blending board. So I told you in my last video that I really enjoy all types of fiber arts, and part of that involves making or preparing your wool to spin. Today I'm going to show you how to make a Rolag. This is a type of wool preparation that will allow you to do a woolen type of spinning. What that does is when you draw out the Rolag like this after you've prepared it, the fibers are not aligned in a straight line. Instead, they're wrapped around like this, so it traps air in the core of the fiber, so you get a slightly more fuzzy yarn, and actually it will be a warmer yarn also. So a little bit ago, I bought this Fancy Kitty blending board, and this is where I combine my fibers to make my Rolags. If you order the Fancy Kitty blending board, you will get the board. You also get this brush to burnish your fabrics, and you get these two dowels. You'll use these when you remove the wool from the blending board. Now I've added to my kit just a regular paintbrush. I just had this at home. I went into our garage, picked out a paintbrush, and I added that. I'll show you how to use this in a little bit. The first thing you need to know is that your blending board has a keel on the back. When you get it, the board is separate. You just have to, I don't know if you can see it right here, but you just screw this keel in, and as you see, it turns. It's supposed to do that, okay? Today I'm going to show you how to use the board on your lap, because that's the method I prefer. What you do is you will turn the keel slightly. You will put it in between your legs so that the board is off to the side a little bit, because you're going to be doing this motion with your hands and you don't want to hit yourself in the stomach. What you need to start with your Rolags, you need some type of fiber. This happens to be a nice fine merino that I hand dyed using a kettle dyeing preparation. I used 3 different colors. I'll show you how to do this at a later date. It's really easy. And I'm going to use this merino as my base fabric. I'm going to use some Firestar to add a little bit of bling, because we all like that, right? It's nylon, and it just adds a little bit of sparkle. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, but this is just a little bit of this goes a long way. I will not be adding much. And I'm also going to be adding some silk noir. Now this is sort of like raw silk. You can see the little brown bits in there. I don't know if you can see that. Those are actually part of the cocoon that is still attached to the fiber, and it gives it a little bit of texture in your yarn, which I happen to like in my yarn. So let's get started. First thing that you do is you take your wool, and since I've got it braided in this nice braid, I'm just going to unbraid a section, small section, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to fluff it a bit, and I'm just going to pull off some, real easy. Excuse my daughter in the background there. She likes to be with me when I'm doing this. So I've got it. There she is. Say hi, Gabrielle.
Hello, guys.
Hello. She said, hello, guys. So I have a small bit. Here you can use more or less. All you're going to do is you are going to place it on the blending board, and be careful because these are sharp tines. They are set at an angle. I don't know if you can see here, but if you put your hand down and you set it down and pulled it back really quickly, you would catch your skin and cut yourself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this on the board, hold the top, and I'm going to push and let it catch on the teeth and drag down. And I'm going to quickly cover the board here. What I like to do also is, it's okay, you see this part that's hanging down? That's good. You're going to use that when you remove the fiber. I also like to have a little bit at the top hanging over. I hadn't seen this in previous videos, but what I found is when I'm removing the Rolags, if I don't have enough at the top, I end up with a Rolag like, let me see if I can find one, sort of like this one. Do you see how it's smaller than this one that I pulled off of the board earlier? Let me see if you can get a good comparison. The one on the bottom doesn't quite have as much of the blended silks and fibers in there. That's because I did not have enough leftover fiber on the top. Okay, so right now I'm just going to quickly put my fiber on here. I'm not worried about the order in this one because I basically want to preserve the colorway that I blended in my kettle dyeing process because I already like the colors. I really am a fan of blues and greens. So you see I'm holding it down. You'll feel the fibers catch and break off, and that's just fine. That's what you want them to do. It's okay if you don't have it perfectly covered on here because we're going to add more than one layer. And now I've got a lot of green on here, so I'm going to go to the top of my combed top here, and I want some blue. So I'm going to just pull some blue out. It's no big deal. It's really just whatever color you want. So see, now I've got blue. I'm going to put blue in here because I like blue and green together. And I went right back over the space I had already filled. And you'll see the board is almost full right now. We've got a little bit of maroon in here. I like that too. I'm going to get some more green. And I've got to fill up over here. See, so I'm not really, it does not have to be neat. So look, this is the first layer. What you're doing when you're creating a Rolag is it's almost like making a sandwich. You are going to put multiple layers on here. I normally end up with about 3 or maybe 4 layers. Okay, so now you're going to take your brush and you are going to comb your fibers. The tines on your brush are aligned this way. And what I do, some people say to start at the top, but because I've got fibers that have broken here in the middle, I sort of start at the bottom. I hold down and I push and brush. And you can see now this section of the fiber is down further in the teeth. Okay, so then I come up here and I brush the other fiber down. And I just quickly go across the board and do that. And look at how lovely that is. Isn't that pretty? It creates a really pretty, it's almost like a painting. It reminds me a little bit of an impressionist painting. And you see I have all this down here, that's fine. Okay, so now I'm going to add my Fire Star, just a little bit, and my Noir. I add these in the center because it traps these finer fabrics, okay? And my daughter Gabrielle wants to do a little bit of it. Do you want to add some in? You see, this is so easy. Even my little helper here can do it. Okay, so we're going to add the Silk Noir, okay? So you push this down, hold this down, and you see this catches on here. Okay, good. You put this one in, okay? Can you do it? Let's put it down, hold it, and then we pull. See, I just kind of add this around. Now this one might be too much. So it's not going to be this white. Good job. Do you want to add some more?
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't we add a little bit more?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
You don't have to.
I want to do but.
Well, you can do the brush when we come to it. So these are my smaller stapled fibers. You see the Silk Noir? It's tiny, okay? So if I had put that down first, it would have gotten trapped in the tines, and I would not be able to get it out when I unrolled this. So I'm going to just add a little bit more in here, and I just pull this out. There's no rhyme or reason to it. I just do what looks good. Right now this is reminding me a little bit of clouds in the sky. Okay, so now I'm going to add my Fire Star, and this looks like a roving, but this is nylon. Okay, this is nylon, and it's very sparkly, and you see it's a staple length about like this, it goes a long way. And we have Pikachu in here. So again, I'm just going to catch this in here. It's going to add a little bit of bling to our Rolag. And this is really easy to do if you have kids at home. Only one of my kids is home right now, which is kind of nice for me. But this is one reason I really love the fiber arts, because I can involve my kids in this process. All of my kids have played on this blending board. Yes, they've cut their fingers. No, we don't want to see Pikachu right now. But it's okay. It's not a big deal. Okay, so now I've got my add-ins in here, and these are flyaway fibers. They don't want to stick in the board. I would not use this burnishing brush, because if I used the burnishing brush on these more delicate or airy fibers, it's just going to take them out of the board. That's where your paintbrush comes in. Now I wish my paintbrush was a little coarser, but it's okay. All you do basically is you just are going to brush them into the teeth. Remember, it's like you want to do it? Mm-hmm. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. See, if my 4-year-old can do this, you can do this. Good job. Now let's go this way, okay? I know, you did it, didn't you? You want to do it a little more? You go right ahead. See, it's something you can involve your kids in. My kids absolutely love doing all of this stuff with me. It's relaxing for me. It's teaching them something more than just sitting there watching TV. All done. That looks great. Good job. You know what? You can help more in just a minute, okay? I see Pikachu. So now we're going to add the top layer on our sandwich. Okay? So it's just more top. And since I have blue on this side and green on this side, I'm just going to put more green over here and kind of mix it up a little. Blue. And see, you don't have to be precise. You don't have to be real fussy about how you're adding this. Can you scoop Pikachu? Just so that people can see what pretty work you did here. Why don't we put Pikachu right over here then? Okay? But you don't have to be precise and perfect about it. The beauty of this art is that it's however you feel at the moment. You can just translate it into color and texture. Okay? You can be as precise as you want. If you want to paint a specific picture on here, feel free to do that. All I'm saying is you don't have to. It can just be something that is almost thoughtless. You don't have to think a lot about it. Okay. Now I feel like adding a little more green. I just did blue, so now I'm going to add green. You see this end. And as you see, when I dyed this, I put a little bit of purple dye in the bottom, so that's where we're getting these darker streaks, and I think that adds a really nice texture. So here's the top layer, and I'm going to burnish this in. I could probably add more fabric or more wool on here, and I might just quickly, because you see right here, I can add some more in. And since I don't want this to be a real thin yarn when I spin it, I think I'm going to quickly add just another layer of Noir and Firestar. And I'll brush that in. Whoops. We have a lot of excitement here at the Nipper household all of the time. This is actually a very quiet moment at our house. I know it fell down. That's okay. That's what happens, right? It happens. It's no big deal. And I'm adding a little bit more Firestar, more bling here because we like that, but not a whole lot. And now I'm going to cover this up, or brush it in. Paintbrush again. Just dab it in there. What you want it to do is just sort of catch in the fiber you already have in here, so that when you're taking it off, see this one was loose down here, this bit of silk, it was not in the teeth. I'm just going to move it up here. because when I take off the Rolag, I want to make sure that my smaller fibers are caught in the longer fibers so that I don't lose those. Now I'm going to add just one more layer and then take it off. And you'll see the removing process. It's really easy to do also. I really love this. It's a fancy kitty blending board. And there is another tutorial out there by Blue Mountain Crafts. She's got a lot of good stuff out there too on how to use both the fancy kitty blending board, and there are some drum carders out there that she's got a lot of good tutorials on.
I like it, Mom.
You like it?
Mm-hmm.
Good, I like it too. So here is our final layer. I'm going to burnish this down. Thank you, sweetie. See, it's something that your kids can help with, and that's the kind of craft or relaxation thing I needed since I have 6 kids. It is, isn't it? Okay, so I've gone through and I have burnished all of this. So now you're going to take your dowels. I need you to let go for a second, sweetie. And you're going to turn the board.
For me.
You like that?
I want for me.
Well, in a little bit. And what you're going to do, can you scoot to the side a little bit? We want everyone to make sure they can see this.
I love.
I'm going to turn this to show you. You see how we left these fibers just hanging over the edge? This is how we're going to remove it. Okay. Oh, and Gabrielle's giving us a thumbs up. So I pull it up just a little bit, and look how nice and clean that is. Nothing stuck under here. Doesn't always happen that way. Yeah, we're going to turn it. Okay. So you're going to put one dowel behind the fiber you've just removed, and another dowel to the top. You're going to trap the fiber between the two, and you are going to pull up and pull back. You're drafting the fibers out as you do this. And it's not really difficult. You just pull up and pull back until you get to the point where they separate. Okay? And so I have one Rolag here. We are dropping everything today.
Okay.
Well, we can clean up when we're done. To remove it, you push one of the dowels up and then off. And we have our first Rolag. Let me quickly remove the rest of them. I'll probably get about 4 Rolags off of this board. Shh. Now you'll see under here I have a little bit of fiber stuck. So I'm taking my brush and I'm going in the opposite direction. And I am just going to, sometimes I use just the corner, see? And I've got that stuck fiber up. So now it's up. I'm going to do the same thing. Take my dowels, one behind, one in front, pull up and back. That one went fast. Up and back, up and back. And this one I like a little bit. You can see a little bit more of the silk and the fire star in here. So again, you just push up, and there's your second one. Probably can get about 2 more out of here. And I will show you at a later date how to spin from Rolags. It's so easy because your fibers are already drafted. What I'm doing here when I'm pulling up and back is I'm really drafting my fibers. So when you're spinning, it's so easy. Okay, number 3. Push up, 1 out. And you'll see we did this all in just a few minutes. I have a little bit of fiber in here. And I like to get that off as I'm working because if I put another color in here next, I wouldn't want that to blend with it. This is why you see I leave some fiber hanging over the edge, because my most difficult part is taking this last piece off, because you see it's already pulled up so much. So sometimes I will hold it down before I start pulling. So You're rolling, pulling up and drafting, rolling, pulling up and drafting. And when you spin this, it works beautifully. And I am at the end here. And what I'm doing here, these few ends, they're a little bit fuzzy. I don't like that. So I'm just kind of using the teeth of my blending board to smooth them down. Now I could have added more fiber on here to make them thicker, but I just wanted to give you an idea. So here's what we've done today. We've made 4 Rolags, and when you go to spin these, all you'll do is you will take the end. You see how it's already coming out a little bit? You will just pull that and attach it to your leader and start spinning. So that's all you have to do. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this. I'm Stephanie Nipper, and you can find out more about me online at www.stephanienipper.com. Thanks!